Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Monday Sound Stream, where, for whatever reason, the lighting in here is like turning the Hollywood Mexico filter on and off. So, like, just so you know, it may randomly become very yellow, and if I put my hands up, it
Sound out.
white balances out.
We have to build Gunpla.
Yes, in the yellow lighting. But it's funny. I like move myself, and it gets more yellow, and then it disappears. So it depends. It depends. But we got a packed show today. If you can tell from the topics list, we got all kinds of stuff. That's what I'm doing. Room. I'm slipping in and out of Wizard of Oz before she opens the door, and Wizard of Oz after she opens the door. I am on the either side of Dorothy's front door now.
Well, it'll eventually just become back of the yield. It's gonna become year one of the channel with the orange filter eventually.
Eventually, yeah. So yeah, that'll be fun. We got Ryan. Ryan's got his updated Lucy avatar because he experienced the joy of cyberpunk edge runners.
I love it, but it still hurts. But I love it, and Lucy's now become the comfort character for me. It's just convenient that she's also in Guilty Gear.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Come out, or is she coming out?
I think she's not out yet.
I think we're waiting for the trailer at Evo or something.
Yeah, probably because they said summer, so I imagine August at the latest for her.
Yeah.
Because Unica just came out last month, the end of last month. So
I'm gonna see if Beppo can fix the white balance here.
Beppo, be my shield.
All right, I think it worked. There we go. It's less yellow now.
But Beppo's now gonna be your white balance.
I'm just gonna keep him on standby. I'll just raise him up when it gets too yellow. We'll just.
Is it Peach's side special attack in Smash Bros.
With the toad.
She's Toad.
I just sort of pull up Beppo. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, no, kind of fixed it. I think that's the secret technique. Anyways, yeah.
28K.
28K. Yeah, we crossed the 28K mark at some point last week.
You're almost at 30.
Almost, yeah, and it's been a wild week on the channel, stats wise, because the Sonic Transformer short took off, so YouTube's you're doing really great, and I'm like, thanks.
Oh, really?
Pay me.
Rent.
I was money.
You'll get your damn monetization when you fix this damn algorithm.
Exactly. So yeah, we're getting real close to 30K. We're at 28K, which is great. Yeah. So I guess we'll just do this now because we got a lot to talk about today.
About my week, but there's nothing happening until August, so just cryogenically freeze me until Evo starts.
I do. I love the GIF you posted, Castle of the Mill House spraying away for the sun, because that actor described last week. That actor described last week on the East Coast.
Legit, that was me when I had to keep going out to do stuff in that heat wave. Oh my goodness.
Gammon Jojo asked, when will you get 100K? We'll see. I don't worry about I just worry about where we're at, not where we're going. I feel like I'll figure it out.
One day, say I'll get the silver play button, but he has the wooden play button, the exclusive one, the kind one.
Yes, I have the one that means more to me, honestly, because someone got it made for me. And that's the important part. So on that note, I'm just gonna hold Beppo right here because he fixes the white balance till the sun starts.
Is he your Bond evil cat?
Basically, I mean, he's got the fur color for it. He looks a little pissed off, so I mean, yeah, I think Blofeld's cat's a good thing.
I mean, is either that or you get the Moopsie, but I don't think we want to get the Moopsie in here.
The Moopsie's scarier for sure. So last week on the channel, we had a Sonic Prime Blu-ray review. So
very well.
It did very well. Quite well. I've been kind of experimenting with, can I take Blu-ray videos where I used to do them kind of infrequently, and now I'm doing them more frequently. I'm trying to split up some topics. So for example, one of the videos this week will be a Blu-ray haul specifically for the Criterion sale pickups I did, and then there will be the normal Blu-ray haul next week.
I got actually that's I took advantage of that. It's my first time getting anything from Criterion. Man, they're really nice.
They are. They're just so expensive that it's buying them on a normal basis is bad.
I got Godzilla vs. Biollante, Wally, the original Godzilla, and Di Toro's Pinocchio for only for just $100. So I
Mhm.
practically got because what they're usually like 55 each.
Yeah,
Usually,
they're like 40, 50 each, depending if they're like Blu-ray
I
4K, and then they were half off because Barnes and Noble's got their sale going.
So I practically got 2 for free by that logic.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, they're like fancy. Like I didn't know like the Wally one impresses me because
Oh yeah,
the
because that's like a
bootleg
special edition. It's got a slipcase and everything, right?
yeah, because it has this like really cool bootleg, which I imagine are like a lot of studio notes or like
Mm,
director stuff in that bootleg and such like that. That's really nice, and I love the Godzilla one because it has like the pop up book Godzilla
yes.
head and
I
such. Because
ended up rebuying because I forgot that Godzilla 4K came out, but I ended up buying it because I have the original Criterion Godzilla Blu-ray, and so now I'm gonna do.
you
I got the
had the
4K
giant.
now.
You got the big giant bootleg, which
Yeah.
I wanna get, but like I don't know where to store that thing.
I kind of want to rebuy everything that's in that set in single 4Ks at this point because it would be easier to store than the
Yeah,
big old book. I don't even keep the discs in the book anymore because the glue started to break.
yeah.
Yeah.
So with the Wally, because the Wally set, because that thing, I was discussing with my partner because I don't think Disney has done 4Ks of their older movies yet, right?
They've
Because
done some
Wally,
of
like,
them. It's really inconsistent.
but like, at least Pixar, besides of course the newer stuff, I don't think
Yeah.
any other Pixar
I
film
think they
have
went back and did
4K.
Incredibles 1 when Incredibles 2 came out.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
the 4K transfer is like brand new for that Wally collection, right?
Hmm.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
it was a new transfer, and then a bunch of the bonus features are new, and then a bunch of the bonus features are from the previous editions.
Yeah, because I figured like some of these I figured like some of these are probably from the old Disney
Yeah.
Blu-ray, but I figured some of them had to be new for that one.
Answering some questions here. Matthew asked, "Are you gonna pick up the Steelbook for Thunderbolts?" Yeah, I pre-ordered it because I want the Steelbook. So I think the Steelbook looks nice. Kaiju 1954 says, "Was Sonic Prime a good show?" I
I
liked the
enjoyed it.
first. I enjoyed it. I did not like the last season as much as the first two, though.
Same same. The problem with the last third of the one they get to fight with Nine, it was so repetitive.
It
It was
was.
really
I felt like I was. It was just becoming like motion noise to me at a certain
yeah.
point
Which like the action's good, but like too much action is becomes
because it
bloatware
just
at that
became
point.
most like 30 characters fighting each other, and
Yeah.
they
It's
just
they
yeah.
they could have easily shortened that because the story I think what they told was interesting, but like it felt like they didn't like that's the
They had
problem
too
I think
many
is that you had
episodes.
yeah, and they had
Yeah.
to fill out these episodes going like, what do we do for this plot? The heroes fight
Yep.
more. and such.
Hellfire, the Wally is the only Disney Criterion so far, I think. Even though
Well,
I
how
wish
did that
Criterion
happen?
could do more.
So, but like I think it's
What
gonna
was
be the
Cass
case
gonna say?
of
Get the rights.
How'd they
I
get the
said, how did
rights?
that happen? How did they get the right? Yeah.
They asked.
I because I
Yeah.
think what I feel like with
Really?
it has to be like a port like Wally because I think it's been so long, but like Wally is like a very like big film when it came out. Like when
It's
it came
also a
out,
really well respected film, so it like fits
yeah,
Criterion's things.
yeah, because like
Yeah.
I don't and also I think the reason why Disney let them do that because I feel like they're less protective of Wally. I feel like because even though Wally still gets like merch, it feels like you don't see it as much as say Toy Story Incredibles
Yeah.
because I did I jokingly say because Wally's whole message is corporations are awful,
Hmm.
and Disney does not want to promote a movie that might call them out and
Yeah.
such like that. The only other like
Let's
pick
see. Oh,
like
I was gonna say,
no,
K-Boy mentioned doing a new room tour. Yeah, I'm gonna work on that when the room is available to do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think the only other like Pixar film I could see getting another Criterion collection is probably Ratatouille.
That or Up,
Yeah,
because a
like
lot of
those like
Criterion films are sad.
yeah, a lot of those things. Man, that was back to back. Yeah, because I think it was like Ratatouille first, then Wally, then Up. Man,
Yep.
those are a good 3 years. And then Toy Story 3 was after that. I mean, that was like really that was a good era for
Mm.
Pixar.
On the other note of that, because I'm not going to talk about my Criterion pickups, you guys get to watch a video about it. Also, because I was going to go just on my own and pick up a few titles, and then my parents were like, well, we want to go look and see what they have. So there's actually like a lot more. Because basically it ended up
I want
becoming like it was like the three of us were doing like a Criterion Closet episode, except we had to pay for the titles instead of being a celebrity that gets them for free. Um, and so we were like picking out stuff and be like, oh, we like this movie because of this, and it was really fun. And there was like a bunch of people there, and they had like overflow boxes at my Barnes and Noble, so that they had like plenty of stock. For some reason, 20 copies of Godzilla vs. Biollante. Like they were ready. I was impressed.
I want to get the Wiz on the Cartoon Culture Lose, but like I already had like the 4 I got was gonna be $100 already, and such. Like I need to save some money.
They do these quarterly at Barnes and Noble, so
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, it definitely should
But
come around again. Oh, anyways, the other video last week was so here's the thing. I get tired of doing normal type videos from time to time. Like I kind of did 2 Blu-ray reviews back to back that was pretty, I think the reviews were good, but they were kind of formulaic in a bit. So I decided to kind of go crazy with the Star Convoy video. And it went over well. Video. It was well received. I was really worried because I was like, am I going to get a bunch of comments of people telling me to shut up and show the toy? And in fact, I got a lot of people going, I know more about Star Convoy now. And someone actually said in the comments they're now convinced to buy it because now they understand who the character is. So
you should do more toy reenactment stories like that, honestly.
I definitely want to, especially for characters that people don't know as well, right? Like, I wouldn't do it for, like, regular Optimus, but...
do all the Glup Shidos.
Exactly, and that's why... So I had fun with it, but I was kind of when I was making it, I was like, I don't know how this is going to go over with people, but it went over incredibly well. Like, everybody's really loved it so far, so...
You know what? Here's a video idea you should do. It's a combination of that, but another one of your other type of videos is like the how many blanks do we have of blank kind of videos. I kind of want to do like how many extras do we have for this story arc? Can we complete the story? Can we fully reenact the story arc with Marvel Legends, for example? Like and such like that. Like
fun. I just thought about it for Dark Phoenix, and I figured out.
Yeah, I was about to say Dark Phoenix actually. It's like, do we have a complete Dark Phoenix set? Like, do we have every character that is needed for a complete Dark Phoenix display or something like that?
I'm gonna write that down. That's a good idea. Let me put this down because let's see. Completing comic book storylines in toys. Cool, got it. That's a good idea. Let's see. What was it? I have no idea what the question is, Muteki. All right, so that was fun though. I did enjoy the Star Convoy video, and I had fun making it, which is the important part. And then everybody enjoyed it, which is even better. Yes, Hellfire, I did do an MVC Marvel Legends video, and I'll do an update this year. But I gotta wait because I thought, oh, the Marvel Legends MVC line's been announced. We're done, and then Bandai was like, "Here's Cyclops." So I'm like, okay, I'll just wait till I think I'll put it out 1 year after last year's video. It'll just be exactly 1 year later. Last week's shorts was Hinata Hyuga and the Mandalorian Transformer.
She looks like I might want to get. Cause I don't collect the Naruto line that much. Because I was probably good. I have Kakashi and Naruto, and probably want to get Sakura and Sasuke to complete T7. But like, I feel like if there's anybody else, I'm gonna probably get is gonna be probably Hinata, and maybe Jiraiya and Tsunade. But like, Hinata looks really good. Like she legitimately does.
She turned out really, really nice. I'm pretty happy with her. And the Mandalorian Transformer video did much better than I thought it would, considering I'm coming at it months later. So that worked out quite well. Let's see. Blade Raider, who's your favorite Beast Wars Glup Shido? Torka. I don't know how to do a video on him, though, because I've had him sealed in a plastic box for 15 years.
The gold plastic.
The day I read the TF Wiki article on Gold Plastic Syndrome was the day I sealed Torka away in a case.
For me, it's probably was it Pacha Chief? Is that the name of the silverback gorilla?
What I forgot what his American name was because I only think of his Japanese name.
Yeah, but like that's my favorite one because mostly because of memories because that was like one of the first videos I ever saw on YouTube that wasn't just something from like TV like Power Rangers, and I was like 6 or 7 was JT Mitchell's review of Apache Chief. That was like one of my first. Yeah, Baboon. That was my first video I saw his, and that's like I kind of like had this attachment to that character ever since, like because that's like my favorite, like one of the most like cherished memories of like first discovering YouTube as a kid and such.
No, and that's the thing I have with Torka is because I got Torka as a kid, and I was like, he's a elephant and an orca. This is like the coolest thing. He had like a water gun that like shot water in his beast mode, and then the fact his name is Torka is amazing.
Which is probably not good. That probably was not good for the gold plastic.
No, definitely not. Luckily, the water squirter part was in the blue part of like the orca part of it, so it wasn't in the gold. But yeah, still crazy. In other PSA news, Big shout out to the character I've only known for like 5 days, Tiny Chef. If you guys
Oh
spent
yeah.
time on the internet, the Tiny Chef was a character that originated on YouTube. Got picked up at Nickelodeon for a show on Nick Jr., which ran for 3 seasons, and Nickelodeon decided to cancel the show. And so the creators of Tiny Chef made a cancellation notice video where Tiny Chef gets the cancellation notice, and it broke my heart and ruined my day.
I know. But apparently, the only reason I can't is because they do some merger. Apparently,
Yes, they're the Paramount Skydance merger. They're cutting everything. That's why every Star Trek show's been canceled.
And a lot of the Paramount Plus Nickelodeon stuff also is
Yeah.
being canned. Also,
So like they're doing all this thing. So I didn't know the Tiny Chef existed, but now I do, and I deeply care about this now because. And so the thing is, I've been looking into the show.
It's a super cute like series. I remember watching when it first came out on Nick Jr. When it first got announced for Nick Jr. It was super because it's all stop motion animated. Stop motion animated. It's so cute. It's like almost like
there's like great videos too on the Tiny Chef YouTube, like him playing like bad guy, like the Billie Eilish song, and it's like, how would anyone do anything to harm this character?
Did you tell your mom, Tiny Chef? Because
Yes.
I feel like this
we have been in a Tiny Chef bubble for the last like several days.
So it gives like the Animal Crossing coziness. Doesn't
totally. And so I think not only should Tiny Chef get to continue, but I also like I deeply respect like the art form and the creativity here, but like also just the undeniable sense of joy when watching anything Tiny Chef related. So currently they've been trying to save the show. So if you are inclined, they do have a page on their website where you can check out their channels, but they also have a thing where you can donate money to keep the show going, because stop motion animation ain't cheap, and they lost a big contract they had that was keeping everything rolling. So I think they said they've raised $100,000 so far, so they're not gonna stop making the show now. They're out of the we don't have enough money to make it anymore range, but they still, of course, need some support. And
I think I'm glad that Paramount didn't bought the IP for them. It just they helped fund the show in this scenario.
Luckily it was just Paramount picked up the show for like distribution, and they didn't actually have any ownership or the IP, so that way the original creators could continue to make Tiny Chef. Just they're going to be doing it on social media and YouTube and stuff. But yeah, I would say go check it out if you like supporting stuff. They have a donation page. I threw in some money to Tiny Chef because the world needs more things like Tiny Chef. It's a fact. All right, let's get rolling. Who do we have in our wonderful live text chat?
We have Master Ben, Spider-Man, Zeltrax, J-Man, 1955, Spider-Man's Prime, Matthew T4J71, K-Boy 1158, Dr. Grid, MG Klein, Jamie's World, SC4 Jason, Room Out the Window, Blade Raider, Common Jojo, Mateki, Hellfire, Mr. Arrowverse, Psych Woes.
And anybody we missed, you just shout us out, and we'll give you a shout out.
PH.
Yeah. If you Commodore 64, Infinity War Torn. And welcome everybody.
Yeah.
It's 30th anniversary PR movie. You're
30th anniversary to the.
You're the same age, or you're almost the same age as the movie.
Yeah, it came out the same year I was born, just like a month or so prior. So yes, happy birthday, the second worst Power Rangers movie.
Look,
that also makes it second best.
Hey, look, Ivan Ooze missed the Brady Bunch reunion, okay?
Exactly.
And the Black Plague and
the Spanish Inquisition. There's a lot I love about the movie, but the more I look back on the movie, I'm like, wow, it really didn't understand how to do the Power Rangers formula in a movie.
The movie is not a good movie in both Power Rangers movie and as a good movie, but it's a good. But for me, I view it like a good B movie almost.
Yes. Because I think the Turbo movie, is not only a good movie but also a good Power Rangers movie. It just gets a lot of flack.
I talked about that with you, remember?
Yeah,
it gets a lot of flack, and I'm like, man.
I think it just gets flack because its budget is very TV level for a lot of it.
I rewatched all 3 PR movies, and yeah, I think Turbo's the best. Man, the Lionsgate film has not aged well. I remember liking it when it first came out, but revisiting it's like, man, this show's a bore.
When I watched it in theaters, I was like, oh, that was pretty good. And then the second time I watched it, I fell asleep at 3:30 in
It's
the
like
afternoon.
I want to like parts of Lionsgate Power Ranger, but like, man,
It's
it
so
it's too.
little happens in that movie.
I think the biggest problem with the film is it's super bloated. It's
Yeah.
very bloated.
It's bloated with a lot of fluff that has no meaning. And that's kind of my problem with it. Is it's just like they're like, look at all this lore, and I'm like, you gonna follow up on any of it? Any of it at all? Is this it's like, there's the rule of storytelling is that you set something up and then you have to pay it off, right? And that movie is just all set up and no payoff, and that kind of just makes it doesn't work for it. But the Turbo movie, even if it does lead into a TV series, the Turbo movie sets up and pays off everything it sets up and pays off. Like everything they set up, they pay off in the Turbo movie.
Honestly, you say how like people say the TV broken. Honestly, like that movie has some fantastic practical effects, like the ghost ship scene. Man, those are the really
Because
good.
that's what
like,
it is instead of building like because that's why they like use like the power chamber sets like the same and stuff, and that's what kind of gives it that feel. But that's because they were saving their money for all the stuff on the island and all the stuff, and they also built a giant snake temple set that didn't get into the final movie because it got cut. That's also part of the problem is that people are like, oh, it's so low budget. And I'm like, it's actually a higher budget than you think. They just cut out some of the more expensive scenes because they didn't work.
what's a fun memory I have as a kid? Cause I grew up with both Turbo and Mighty Morphin as a kid on VHS.
I had the double-sided DVD after the VHS.
Oh, your worst sin, your hated sin.
Yes.
Is I don't know. As a kid, I remember like those backpacks Tommy and Kat had, which are totally just
Yes.
turbo navigators, which I never realized until I rewatched the film recently. But like, I remember as a kid like wanting those because like they
Same.
were like, I thought they were just really cool. Like,
And
like,
they're so toyetic too. You think there was a toy of them. Like they don't seem like they're just
yeah.
made up props for the movie.
Yeah, but it's just very funny that they're just upsized turbo navigators and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Which I mean that meant
You know how I feel about the movie, the original, the Mighty Morphin movie. I feel the same way about it as I do about Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh, is it
Like,
campy B movie?
Yeah, movie's not great, but I love watching them.
Yeah.
Annihilation is such a good.
They're not good.
It's
but I
so
love
bad. Annihilation is so bad it's good. Like I can laugh at that film so easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right. Well, speaking of movies and sequels, I saw Megan 2.0 this weekend, and I thought it was great.
So you saw Ghost in the Shell, Ghost in the Shell versus Ghost in the Shell, the prequel.
Yeah, it was really funny watching this movie as a fan of like science fiction and stuff because I was like, so first of all, I'm not going to go into spoilers, but first of all, it does a genre shift in the same way Terminator did, whereas like the first movie was like sci-fi slasher movie, this is sci-fi action movie, and I really liked it a lot because I like the whole genre shit because I don't like slasher movies. So like if it was another slasher movie, I've been like, that's kind of like that's my personal thing. But I also just really love like how much the people making this movie love robot stories and AI stories.
The problem with slasher movie sequels is usually it just end up being a repeat of the first film.
Yes.
It's always the problem with those kind of films. I'm really glad they went with the Terminator 2 way, where it's like we're just gonna make it a different genre.
And what's nice is unlike Terminator 2 though, this is the same Megan, but more evolved. And so I like that she actually has character growth between the two movies. And then the other thing I really liked about it too is that they kept homaging like stuff from the past. Like there was a lot of Ghost in the Shell-ness of the fact that Megan could switch bodies like easily. And I was like, oh, she's just like Motoko, except crazier. And then also
isn't that manga Motoko?
Yeah, it kind of like more manga Motoko. And then there was like they were doing a bunch of like Metropolis homages with the evil robot in this with Amelia that I really appreciated. The thing I found interesting is Kaiju before mentioned the message it put out at the end of the movie definitely was like this movie was written like a year or so ago. But I did sort of like their approach to like how do we deal with advancing technology and like how does the world deal with it. And it's something that like I don't know what the intention was behind it because our technology's accelerated much since this was written. But I thought it was an interesting approach they took. But it was definitely not something that I think they wrote with the intention of what things would be like when it actually came out, which is how like pretty much all movies go. Andor being incredibly like timely was an accident.
I'm rewatching Gurren Lagann right now, and the second arc sadly matches current day events surprisingly so well. Sadly, or you can play Metal Gear Solid 2 and be sad how nothing has changed.
Yep, that was me watching They Live. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. They turned the camp factor up a whole lot, which made it really fun. And overall, I mean, I really liked it. I thought it's different than the first movie.
I
enjoyed it the same.
Did all the Megans combine to a super Gatai Megan at the very end to fight the giant evil? Like,
sadly not. I think the only complaint I might have had about the movie is that the woman playing Amelia was great, but they didn't do any like prosthetic work to make her look artificial. Like she just looked like a person. And I was like, okay,
so she's a reploid. So she's a reploid for Mega Man.
I was thinking a replicant from Blade Runner, but yes, basically. Yeah, but I enjoyed it a lot. I had fun. Yeah, that's Megan. Anybody got any questions?
I need to check out the film because I didn't really like the first film, but like but
I think they should have totally released this back in January though. This is not a summer middle of summer movie.
Well, January means bad movie, so maybe not.
Well, the first Megan was a January movie, and it was a surprise.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So, all right, moving on from one production about robotics and AI to another one, Ironheart, which Ironheart is a lot better than Megan too. Ironheart's really damn good based on the first 3 episodes. The second 3 air on Tuesday, but I just want to talk about this. This show is amazing.
I feel bad it's not getting the attention it deserves, but I'm not surprised, sadly.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like consequential to the future of the MCU. I don't know. I don't care. It's good. The way this show has made Riri Williams an interesting character in a way the comics have struggled to do so is so good because they're just building on everything they had going in Wakanda Forever with her. But it's great. Like I was watching it and I was like, this is what an MCU show should be. Every episode feels like a distinctive chapter in the story. Like I can tell you, like I could give you like a summary of each episode. It's not just one giant like movie cut up into parts. There's a lot of great like exploration of Riri as a character and her trauma and her grief and how that informs the things she does. There's a lot of great discussion about like, Riri Williams is a genius on the level of Tony Stark, but Tony Stark had all these resources. Riri doesn't. How is she going to get those resources? What is she willing to do in order to build the stuff that she wants to build? And I think that has added so many layers to the character and so many layers to the world as well. And also I think it's got a lot of great stuff, like kind of connecting into some of the Iron Man lore and fiction for the MCU version. And then, kind of giving her own space while still kind of going with like, she's not replacing Tony Stark, but is kind of inheriting the legacy that Tony Stark left behind. Because the way she talks about, kind of building stuff is that like her stepdad really liked Tony Stark and what Tony Stark was doing for the world. And so she's trying to carry that legacy on, not necessarily for herself or not necessarily for, for Tony, but for her stepdad. And so I think that's the kind of like, it's the kind of like the really layered storytelling I think is really, really fun. And the one of the coolest parts is the way the armor works, because it's not the nanotech stuff we've been seeing for years. It is solid metal iron armor, and the coolest part about it,
to iron and the iron characters.
And not only does it look cool, when she needs to go get a part or fix a part on the armor when it's not working, she has to like put it in a wagon and drag it around. Like she does not have like an easy like lab to work on and stuff. And so there's like sequences where she's just put like a tarp over the armor and like dragging it in a wagon because she's got to move it from place to place.
You know that reminds me of that.
Mhm.
It reminds me back in SSS Gridman when the Neon Genesis crew had to carry junk all over the place so
Yes.
Yuta can change the Gridman.
It gave me that same vibe. And I think that's like it just adds so much character and personality to it. And it's so cool too because like something we haven't had in the Iron stuff.
Artist suit practical because
Yes.
that's the problem. Yeah, because that's kind of the problem of the recent Iron Man stuff. Is
Mhm.
like back in the day, it was a physical suit, but nowadays it's usually like, oh, Robbie Dyrdek just have a chest plate and a
Yeah.
bunch of dots on him nowadays.
But
When
no,
like it was,
they have a practical suit that works as a standing prop, and that she can work on and stuff. And there's a lot of great cool shots where like she needs to get into the armor, and so the armor flies to her, and then it opens up and she steps right into it and stuff. Like it's really really cool. And then for villains, the Hood is fascinating. I love what they've done with the Hood because that's a
I
character
kind of
that's never
love
really worked too well for me in the comics, and
until
they've added
recently.
so many layers, except for during the time he was a Ghost Rider. But they've added so many layers to him. They make him way more interesting than he used to be, and there's this crazy character design detail, which is that like the more he uses his powers, it starts scarring his body, and so he has like his cousin put tattoos on him to cover the scars so people don't know about it.
Oh, he becomes Victor Zaz.
Yeah, it's kind of like Victor Zaz, but like the tattoos are covering the scars, and so it's really really cool. And then the Hood's crew is like amazing. Like they're so dynamic, and
It's
you
Anthony
can tell who
Ramos.
each of them are. It's not like that boring group of Miss Marvel villains that are just all one note.
Ugh.
Like this
Oh,
is actually like fun characters.
Anthony Ramos is the Hood in this series. I didn't know that.
Yes, and he's great. He's doing great with it. Alden Ehrenreich's in this series too, and he's great. But
Did
I can't talk about his character too much because it's all spoilery. But
did he call for his car buddy to help him?
no, but there was a funny shot where it was like the Hood was getting there was like a silhouette of the Ironheart armor, and then I saw a few Transformers fans who were like, "Oh, he's reuniting with Mirage."
Gabe Sivey.
Yeah, but no, I'm really really excited for Tuesday for the rest of the series to come out because the first 3 episodes were so solid that like and from the reviews and stuff, it sounds like the next 3 are also really solid too. Um, yeah, I'm excited.
I feel like this is gonna be like Echo, where like or Thunderbolts, where no one's gonna see it, but it's
Yeah,
actually some of the best MCU stuff out there.
I will say quality wise, it's more Thunderbolts than Echo. I think it's in the higher like I think because like I really liked Echo, but it's still like kind of I don't know where did I rank it. I think I ranked it an A or a B or something. I'm putting Ironheart if it stays, it'd probably be A or S at this point because
Really be on Wiki Box.
I would love a Wheaties box with Ironheart on it.
We need to change S tier for MC to Wiki's Box.
We should.
That's the true
That'd be fun.
approval.
Yeah, well, so I'll talk about part 2 next week, of course, or next week's stream, and then we'll do an MCU tier list after Fantastic Four. We'll just update it because I think we got Thunderbolts and this and
You rank? Yeah, we did rank. You did rank Thunderbolts, did you? I'm pretty
no,
sure you
I
did.
didn't rank Thunderbolts yet because
Yeah.
I wanted to see it again, but the Blu-ray is not out till we'll figure it out. Anyways, all right, and then GQuuuX wrapped up, so I wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Three-way robot mecha conversations.
Yes, so the fun part is that we
Need to
have
see this show.
Jerry hasn't seen it, and me and Ryan have seen it.
I'm gonna.
But he's gonna. So here's what I want to
Alright,
do. Here's what I want to do to make sure.
I'm already spoiled on it too.
Here's
how
what I
do
want to
we
do to make
convince-
sure we have like a cool discussion. Let's talk
how do-
about why somebody should watch it.
How did we get Jerry into Kira Kira?
Yes. So here's my idea: is that we basically discuss this show like we're doing a sales pitch, right? If someone wanted to watch GQuuuX, what is the things we loved about it that make the whole show work for us, right? So, because first of all, the thing that works for me on this is that it works as a standalone series, but it also works as a connective part of the Gundam universe tissue. And so I will say, we're not going to do like major spoilers, but this is an alternate reality Universal Century show. And that they tried to hide it, but like they say it in the first episode, so it's not a spoiler anymore.
They do.
So this is an alternate universe of the Universal Century, and it's a timeline where Zeon won the 1-year war, and so everything's different because of it. Like for example, Shalia Bull is a character, not just a one-off guy. He's like a main character, which is kind of crazy. But I think the thing as a show overall, I think the characters are really fun. I think the timeline stuff and the fan service is neat, but it is in service of like kind of a greater narrative about like life and attachment and how people love each other and stuff. That also sounded a little dirty when I said that way, but every mecha anime is like a metaphor for sex. So, anyways,
Unless your brain, there's no metaphor.
that's just text. It's not even the subtext. But no, what I enjoyed about it was that like it introduces you to the characters, it builds you up to the grander narrative, but it still kind of keeps this central like emotional core to it that I think really works nice. And I think that's what I like about it. What do you like about it, Ryan? Because you got really into the show.
Yeah. So for me, I haven't been into Gundam for so long because the last time I was really invested in Gundam was Deep Bill Divers Re-Rise, which is like what almost like
5 years ago.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
I forget. It's such a like I've been very out of Gundam and I've been kind of like very distant from it where like I didn't mean to like skip out on like Witcher Mercury, but like it didn't grab me a lot and I've been I think especially for this series, I think what helps because I've been very tired out here for a century, and such a that because I think none of the stuff they've been doing for a century. I haven't seen halfway yet. I'm planning to now, but like
Oh, you haven't?
Oh, we'll be talking about Hathaway later.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
I just never been like none of the stuff they've been adding to the UC stuff just interests me because it just doesn't feel like it adds anything.
It's because they're
like
always 1-year war side projects.
yeah, like what's
Yeah.
that Netflix CG?
Requiem of
Like,
Vengeance.
yeah,
yeah.
that like
That
that's
one's
like
actually pretty neat.
I haven't seen that, but
I
like
liked
I
it
go
up
like
until the last 5 minutes, and then it was one of my least favorite things
Yeah.
ever. But I like it as a whole. I just hate the last scene. The last scene pisses me off.
yeah, but like I saw something
Fair
like
enough.
that, and like was that needed? Like I feel like we have stories like that already in other like novels or whatever and such like that. But yeah, so I've been very out of Gundam. And so what when this came out and what grabbed me what to be honest, what grabbed me is the character designs because it's done
Yeah.
by majority of the characters done by Take, who was a major character designer for Pokemon. And I love the character designs a lot. They're very pop and like my type of style. But I think what really grabbed me is the down to earthness because of everything. Because what really helps the series, especially when it connects to the Universal Century stuff, is Machu and Neon are super like they're in the middle of this conflict. Like they're like regular civilians, and so, like, they're coming into this whole thing without any military background or being related to any like person working in the Federation or the Xeon family and such like that. So we get to see we have a Gundam series where your main point of view is a full on civilian. Like I know other series have that, but like there's always kind of like
They're always conscripted into war in like the first episode.
yeah,
Yeah.
here where it takes a bit
Mhm.
to get them to get into the major conflict, and I know that is a kind of criticism which I do sort of agree on. Where because I think if there's one thing I do agree on, and I just saying someone who absolutely loved the series, I do think this needed more episodes, at least
Way
20
more
episodes. But
episodes.
like
Way more.
I don't know if I don't know if this because it's so weird to have like only a 12 episode Gundam series. Like usually
Yeah.
usually
Because usually
there's
what
most
we've been getting lately is they're like 24 episodes, and it's just they do 12,
you
take a break, 12. Yeah.
yeah, and stuff. So I don't know if there was like that was a deal between Sunrise and Kira or something like that or what, but
Because
like
that's
so
my
it's
only
weird.
my only major complaint with the show is that we needed 24, I think, because there was some stuff introduced at the beginning that seemed like kind of status quo-y stuff, and that just ultimately didn't matter to anything. Like
Yeah,
they
and
spent so much time explaining to clan battle to us for it ultimately not even to be a thing that
yeah,
had any impact,
and
Yeah.
there is definitely. I think the clan battle stuff is so useful because it explains why Machu and Neon are the way they are at the end of the
Yeah.
series. But like, it would be good that they tie more back into it and such like that. But
Because that was the thing that frustrated me about the early part of the show is that they would like I think it was like there was one episode where they spent half of it explaining the rules of clan battle. And
I think that was episode 3.
I think it was episode 3, and I was just like, if this show really is 12 episodes, why are we spending so much time on this? I think that might have been like they may have planned this to be longer, and then they part way through production got cut down, or were told no, you only have 12, and then they're like, okay, let's pivot, because I think there was like it's like all right, clan battle, like simplify the explanation so we could get some more character stuff in, because I think
and I think the clan battle stuff things still works, especially when it comes to
I think
stuff
clan battle as
like
an idea works. I just think the amount of time we spend
yeah,
explaining
because
it
that
is a little
that got
much.
me like 'cause that was one of the things that actually hooked me in the show because
Yeah.
I adore the Build series like
Mhm.
that's my favorite Gundam stuff. I am Build Diver's strongest soldier.
Yeah.
But like I think how they use their clan battle stuff is really good in terms of how people like especially episode 4 the famous witch episode
Mhm.
with everyone's favorite character.
Yes.
Shuko, and such. Talk about character. Only is this a one episode that half the fan art is her. But like that's a good not only that's a good episode because it showcased someone that's because I think what I like about GQuuuX with the whole because I know a lot of people when I remember when it actually got spoiled. Whoops, of this being UC Ultra Time. Where people
Mhm.
were like, yeah. But like honestly, compared to such the other modern UC stuff that isn't like post 1 Year War,
Yeah.
it actually does something neat. Like it does goes into how does a Federation soldier feel about losing the war? How do Xeon soldiers feel when when the war's over and they just become trash men practically of the Dom brothers since they're missing one.
Mhm.
And so that's interesting stuff. And I like that. And then and essentially how they go into essentially the zombie family is interesting. I never really cared for about like characters like Cecilia before, but like the way how they wrote her in the series is fascinating. And my
I
god,
never
she is
cared
like
about Cassilia until I read the Origin manga. And then I was like, oh,
I'm,
she's
s- I'm,
actually a lot
I'm,
of interesting.
I'm assuming a lot of the origin stuff went to Cecilia in this series. I
Yeah.
imagine.
A lot of it
Yeah,
comes from like her origin characterization, which is a lot less I'm evil and more like I'm really calculative and I don't care
and
about
so
family
evil,
bonds.
In
and
the
so
original
evil.
Gundam, she was just a cardboard cutout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
but
She only
she's so
got cool
evil.
when she started just offing her family members.
yep.
Hint this series.
Yep.
um, but like and so and like I really like Neon and
Mm.
Machu's characters, especially because Machu is an interesting character because she's clearly a girl that lived in a privileged life. She goes to a privileged school. Her mother looks like she works at a government facility or something like that, and such. So she really doesn't have any wants besides go to the Earth and the sea, and such. And thus, throughout the series, you see her grow, from being like less selfish to actually caring. And especially near the end of the series, you see her fully become
Mm.
a hero at the end, which I really love. And Neon also like I really like her character. I love her character because she's clearly a big like refugee of the war. Like she's probably like someone that got caught in one of the wars is now a refugee, and you see how she how she feels and how she feels like she needs someone because she's practically just fighting for her own life because if she doesn't, she's gonna die and such like that.
Mm.
And that's super fascinating. And what they did with her character, I think, is really good. And I think that's another case where I wish the series had more episodes. I think they could explore even more about Neon, so you gave like a